This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
On today's episode of Simply Cooking by MmmChef, I'm joined by an old friend, Jas. She's here to show us about her cookbook and teach us how to make samosa from scratch. Have you ever been intimidated to try a takeout recipe at home? It is not as hard as you think. Stay tuned to see what we do. Here with one of my great friends, Jas. We have been friends for almost 9 years. She is so many amazing things. She is a yoga teacher, she is a cookbook author, and today she's going to be teaching us how to make samosas. Honestly, probably the best samosas I've ever had. Jas is fantastic, and we're going to talk about all the other great things that she is as well. So thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
Honestly,
this is so exciting for me.
Honestly, I couldn't think of anyone better when I knew that I was doing this show and having guests. You were top of mind. So please tell us about yourself, what you brought, and what you're going to be doing for us today.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so we are going to be making samosa today. They're my absolute favorite comfort food. Who doesn't like potatoes?
I mean,
right?
and the smell
anything
of the
that's
spices and deep fried, right?
So basically, what I have here are the ingredients to make the samosa start to finish, and that's what we're going to be doing together. I'm actually going to guide you through the steps. You're going to be a very active participant, because I do run workshops, samosa making workshops,
That's right.
And this is what we do.
Here in the Ottawa area.
Here in the Ottawa area.
Local Ottawa people can come and learn hands-on and taste and eat.
Absolutely.
Great.
And it's a part of that community cooking. So if one person is doing all the work, it seems like it's a lot of work, right? But when you have multiple people and you've got a bit of an assembly line going, right? You're shooting the shit, you're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't feel like a lot of work.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to go ahead and actually get started straight away making the dough first.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and actually walk us through this process.
Okay.
Now, please don't freak out. I've done this many times. So
just like me, she measures with her feelings.
I measure with
and
my
her
heart.
hands and her heart. So you know, if you ever want the exact measurements, I'm sure you can sign up for one of her classes or find us online, and we can definitely share that. But right now, we are cooking with our eyes.
We're cooking with our eyes, we're cooking with our heart, we're going based on feels.
Yep.
So all I did was add a little bit of salt to all-purpose flour.
Okay.
So again, you measure with your heart.
People could use unbleached flour, people could use all-purpose, people could use, you definitely want gluten here because you want it to hold and stick together. Unfortunately for gluten-free, they probably don't work the same.
Exactly.
So we're not going to talk about that today.
Exactly. So now I've just added a little bit of olive oil to that, and that's going to help the dough to not stick.
Okay.
Not stick to the stuff that we don't want it to stick to. Okay.
And there's no leavener in this dough.
There's no leavener. You know what I forgot? Is some water.
Some water.
Yeah.
Okay, we can get you some water. Can someone get us a cup of water?
Please and thank you. So while we're mixing this, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, while you're mixing that, I'm working on a little chutney. I was telling Jas before we started that as an Italian girl growing up in an Italian household, I never had chutney. I never even had plain white rice before until I was an adult and, was exposed to different cultures. Yeah. So this is my first time making a chutney. She has an amazing recipe for chutney in her cookbook, but I did a little bit of digging in my cookbooks at home last night and found a couple recipes. So I'm going to do an uncooked chutney.
Okay.
I've got some shallots that I'm chopping, and while she's showing us what to do and we're waiting for the water, I'm gonna also be chopping up some fresh non-spicy peppers. I've got some green and ripened tomatoes from the end of the season from my garden. Ooh. I also have some coriander, some fresh ginger, and some lime juice. So you guys will be seeing me do that, but I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Jas is going to do that. I'm gonna step off the camera over here and just grab that water. Merci beaucoup. This is real live-ish TV.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so just add some water here and we're gonna mix that in. Okay, so ideally, when you're making this at home, you want the water to be a little bit warmer. It'll just help the dough stick to itself.
Okay.
But ultimately, as you're going through, you want to get all up in there with your hands. Don't be afraid.
This is like making pizza dough.
It basically like making,
you want to feel the texture with your fingers. You want to make sure all of the flour has absorbed all the moisture, right?
Exactly.
I can see that it's like coming off of your fingers now that it's coming together.
Exactly. So we're just going to add a little bit more water.
So what got you into teaching and wanting to spread your, family traditional meals and cuisine with the Ottawa community?
It actually started with samosa workshops as an alternative to just getting people together.
Okay.
Because I'd done kind of the networking scene for a while, and just it wasn't really my
jam.
thing.
That's where we met, though. So
It is, yeah.
it brought some great people into your life, and now you do your own networking stuff.
It did.
Yeah, that's where we met when I was first starting, and yoga was your promo at the time, right?
Exactly. So yeah, no, it was great, but I always found it really difficult to talk about myself with like nothing to do with my hands. You know what I mean?
Like
just stand
me.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
It actually just started as a way to get some people together who wanted to learn a new skill.
Cool.
Just again, having some friends over and teaching them how to make samosa, because they are actually my favorite food. So
Who doesn't want to hang out with their friends and cook with them and enjoy delicious food? I mean, food is love, right? So
100%. So that was basically what kind of got it started, and then it sort of ballooned from there. And then over the time, back in 2020, when things were, a little bit more
Not normal.
restricted.
Yeah.
It's a time that we shall not talk about.
Yes.
When things were a little bit more restricted, this was one of those things that we could do together without actually being together.
That's right, because you were doing them online at the time.
Exactly.
And you would send everyone a list of all the things they need to have with them ready for you.
Exactly.
And you would walk them through online. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that's basically how this ended up coming to fruition, this many years later.
Now 5 years later, it's something
Yeah.
that you're doing on a regular, and she's created a beautiful cookbook, probably based around, obviously the cookbook came into fruition from doing these classes and events and teaching, right?
Yeah. So, and there was someone had randomly, offhandedly made a comment saying, do you teach anything other than samosa? I'd love to learn Punjabi cooking.
Okay.
And I kind of tucked it away in the back of my mind. I was like, I like cooking. I enjoy feeding people.
Yeah.
And it's super easy to make, and especially now when everyone's so pressed for time. The idea for the cookbook really came down to what can I make fast?
Okay.
Most of the recipes are 20 minutes or less.
Amazing.
Right? And it's fresh food. So
yeah. Fresh food is usually the best fast food is fresh food, right?
I agree. So that's how that sort of came about.
Together.
And it was, I don't want to say it was a fluke. It really was a labor of love.
Awesome.
But it's something that...
As is everything that comes from passion, right? Even this show for me, a labor of love. When you're teaching, when you're with people who are enjoying your food, it's a passion for you, but then the love that you get back.
Exactly. Right? Cooking is love.
All right, your dough is beautiful.
So the dough, we're just going to let it sit for a minute here.
Okay.
And it's ready when there's really not a whole lot that's stuck to your fingers.
Right.
So I have most of it on
We're
here.
in a studio today, so there's no sink here.
There's no
so
sink, that's
she's
okay.
just going to continue on with her doughy hands, but that's real life cooking, right?
There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you over here.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if I can get some more of that off. We're going to make the potato filling.
The potato filling.
So with samosa, there's really two main things.
Okay.
You have the pastry dough and then you have the filling.
Yeah.
And it really is all about the filling. So you want to make sure that it's spiced to your level.
Okay.
I have the spices that I typically tend to use.
I'm going to put this here so that people can see.
Yeah.
And then you're going to pass me what you want. Okay.
So I'm going to pop in a little bit of fenugreek.
Okay. Ooh, fenugreek. So this is something that probably not a lot of you have in your pantry already.
Yes.
It's one of those more obscure spices. However, available at most grocery stores in the international aisle.
Absolutely. This is our homemade garam masala.
Oh,
you can also pick
delicious.
this up at any grocery store.
Absolutely.
In the international section.
Or you can Google a recipe and make your own blend because it's a blend, right?
Exactly, yep. And then we're gonna add some black pepper.
Okay. Nice pinch of black pepper, love it.
Yeah. Depending on how much spice you can tolerate, we're going to put in some chili flakes.
Well, on this show, I like it spicy, so we don't need to be shy. Before we started this episode, we all ate a piece of fresh ginger, so we like spice around here.
It's good. And then we've got some cumin.
Yum. And is there a reason you guys use the whole cumin over a powdered cumin? And most of my clients at home would probably have the powdered, not the whole. Can they use that?
They can use the powdered, yes, absolutely.
Great.
I just like its mouthfeel,
Yeah,
its texture,
absolutely.
right? And then we're going to add a little bit of salt.
Okay, I see about a teaspoon in there.
And this is my secret ingredient.
Okay.
This is mountain basil.
Mountain basil.
And this is just like, can you smell that?
Can I smell? Oh, it has like a mintiness to it. So everyone who's watched my show knows that basil is my favorite.
It's amazing. That's actually fresh, well, like.
So is this something that you grow?
Yeah.
Oh, mountain basil. So I have like Thai basil, red basil, Italian Sangiovese basil, but I've never. Maybe next spring we'll have to do a trade.
So good.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Pass me the masher.
And here you go. Okay. So you're just going to go to town with that.
Okay, so these potatoes were boiled. You boiled them, like you peeled them and then just boiled them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Just, in the interest of time.
Yep. And everyone, when the potatoes are still a little bit warm, they would mash easier. These have been pre-cooked since we're on TV, so they are just a little bit like firmer because they've been cooled, right?
Exactly, yeah.
However, cooling a potato turns the starch into a resistant starch, which is way better for your digestion. So while you're enjoying a deep fried item, if you've cooled your potatoes before you make the filling, it can actually help you stay fuller longer and not have as much of a blood sugar spike. For health, right? I always have to throw those in there, you know.
I love it.
Okay, so this is all mashed up and beautiful. Looks great.
Fantastic. So while you just want to make sure that everything is properly full on in there.
Okay.
I have a little extra flour.
Okay.
And we're just going to pop that here. Flour. This.
Nice.
And we're going to make our little dough balls.
Awesome.
I think
what we're going to do, if that's okay, I'm going to move some of these spices out of the way so that the camera can see what you're doing on your cutting board.
Sounds good. So, can I give you a piece as well?
Absolutely.
So here you go. I'm going to take this piece here.
Okay.
I'm going to take this piece here. First thing we're going to do is put it on our non-dominant hand.
Okay.
And then roll from the bottom into the center. So you're basically folding it in on itself.
Kind of like making a little bun.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do that a few times and then
turning into a
flip
little ball.
over.
Okay.
And roll. Okay.
Okay.
You have a little ball.
And like seam side is on the bottom.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then we're going to throw it in the flour here.
Okay. And I'll take a little pinch in my hand too for my board up here.
And press just to flatten it as much as you can.
Okay.
I like to pick it up and flatten the sides as well. Just to make it easier to roll. And then we roll.
Like a mini pizza calzone.
Basically.
Honestly, I often, when I'm talking to people who are from an international background with, food as love, I say like, in almost every culture, you can find a similar item to an Italian item in the way that we're all the same.
Yeah.
We all just love, we all just want to eat with friends and family. And, this chutney is an Italian gazpacho, which is a Mexican salsa, which is, from even like, a Middle Eastern salad that they would serve with tomatoes and cucumber and coriander. And so all the different ingredients that we use are so similar. We've just kind of like, we
even just put them together.
Mix them up in a different way, right?
Yeah. I would say we even put them together in a similar way.
I have a pasta. She asked me to bring a rolling pin, and of course my rolling pin is a pasta rolling pin because, and so she's using her favorite type of rolling pin, which actually has the handles that turns for you. And so how thin are we going for?
We want to go as thin as possible for this.
Okay.
If you want to use this one.
Yeah, let's try.
Yeah, it might be a little bit easier, but I am also very biased, so.
Of course. Okay, I see. And because there's no yeast in the dough, it's not retracting as much.
It will,
I feel like.
if you let it sit.
Okay, so we're working quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice and thin.
Nice and
Perfect.
thin.
Okay.
Okay, so the next step, that's pretty well mashed.
Yeah.
You can just leave it
making
there.
sure.
Awesome. And so we're gonna take a knife, which
Okay, like
I
a
have
paring
here.
knife or
Any knife.
a knife? Yeah, perfect.
Right. And we're just gonna cut it in half.
Okay,
Okay, here we go.
got it.
Then we're going to pick up one half.
Yep.
And we're just gonna do a little practice run first.
Okay.
So we want like a little mullet. So shorter in the front, a little longer in the back.
Love it, love it. Okay.
And then take the bottom corner
Yep.
and make a cone. Oops.
Around your fingers.
So put one little cone shape. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
there we
so
go.
that's what we're aiming for. Now we're gonna take some water
Okay,
along the inner seam.
I see.
I'm gonna bring that over for you.
So like a reverse triangle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're using
Fold
that
it over.
as a glue.
yep, that's it. And that's why we didn't put too much olive oil in the flour
Because
to
we
begin
don't
with.
want it to be greasy.
Exactly. But we also don't want it to stick to the board when we're rolling.
Okay.
But we do still want the dough to stick
Okay.
to itself. Now, I'm gonna come over here if I can.
Yeah, of course.
And we're just going to, can I put this on?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, sweet. And we're just gonna pop some filling
Okay.
into the
And sometimes
samosa.
when we get samosas at takeout or something, there might be peas in there.
Yeah, you can put anything you want. We're keeping them super simple today.
Okay.
It's just spiced potato.
We are running out of time before the end of this segment, so we just want to go over everything. I've got some sunflower oil. We want some clear, non-flavored oil to fry these, so sunflower, canola, avocado, whatever. And we've put it at 350. So, just so you know, we're going to continue this, but if we run out of time, that's what we've done with
Just preheating
the
the
preheating of that.
Yep. Okay, so then you're gonna take some more water along the top,
Okay.
and then we're gonna pinch it shut.
On the inside seam?
Inside, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And if you wanna get fancy, once you've pinched it shut, some water along the top.
Okay.
And just like you would flute a pie crust.
Yeah.
Over
Or like a
just
little
that.
dumpling.
A little dumpling. There you go.
Okay, I've done stuff like this, but I'm certainly not as.
It looks perfect.
Whatever.
Listen, we don't samosa shame here, okay?
No, and I mean the look is not the flavor.
No,
right?
exactly.
Although we eat with our eyes, we also eat with our nose, and the smell in here with all these spices right now is just next level. So
good.
on the break, we're going to drop these beautiful samosas into the oil, and they're going to fry for.
About 2 minutes.
About 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish up my chutney, and then when we come back, we're gonna try everything, and we're gonna see what she's brought us in this pot to go along with everything. We'll see you after the break. So on the break, we have been frying some of these beautiful samosas that Jas has made for us. I think I see even mine on there. It's a little bit more dumpling-like. I also finished up this beautiful chutney. I added in the lime juice, some salt, and the coriander or cilantro, letting this marinate here. And she's got some in the deep fryer right now that I think we might be able to pull out to see what they're like.
Yeah.
I'll help. Are they nice and brown? Oh,
They
yeah,
are.
they
Look at
are. Look at
that.
that.
That's pretty good. You know what? I think we might be able to just pull these out now because they're going to
perfect.
continue to cook.
So earlier we were talking about how these are not gluten-free, but if you've watched my show before, you know I love to talk about swaps, and I'm always cooking for people with restriction. She also makes these beautiful things called pakora.
Yep.
And they are like a gluten-free option for this. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so with pakora, it's a little bit different because they're not, you're not using the pastry dough to keep everything together.
Right.
So basically, it's made with chickpea flour, and it's basically a battered vegetable.
Like almost like a fritter. Little,
yeah. So you can do zucchini, cauliflower. You can batter any
Or
vegetable
some
that you
onion.
like.
Some you find onion often.
You can do potato as well.
And then you just drop them in, and they fry the same way.
Exactly.
But they're made made with a chickpea flour, like she said, which is gluten-free.
Yeah.
So before the break, I was also saying that she brought us something really special in this pot that's been heating for us to eat along with it.
These are chole, so they're essentially it's a chickpea sauce.
Beautiful.
And yeah, we've got, so all of the spices that we used for the samosa filling is essentially what we're using for the seasoning in the chole as well, just differing proportions.
And
so
can you tell us how you, like, do you saute or
you saute the base.
Okay.
The base is made with onions.
Okay.
And then once you've added your spices to the base, then you add in your chickpeas.
so you let the spices...
Yeah, you want to let them marinate.
Yeah.
And then from there, you add your chickpeas. You can add some water. I personally like using just water.
Yeah,
I don't typically do coconut.
Or broth or anything.
Exactly.
Right.
You can use anything you'd like, but I like to keep it really simple. And if you do want to make it a little bit thicker in terms of the consistency, you can add a bit of a potato and mash it. And
A little
you'll
bit of
get
the filling right in there. But I noticed that the chickpeas have broken down a little bit.
Yeah.
And they've mushed a tiny little bit, which has made this like a really nice thickness and consistency. I was saying to her, of course, like the samosas and all the other things, but I would eat just this on some rice for dinner or something like that.
Exactly, and it's an excellent source of protein as well. One little thing that I'm going to say, just because I wouldn't be Punjabi if I didn't do this. So, one samosa, multiple samosa.
Okay.
So anything that ends with an A, like an A at the end.
Yes.
The plural of it is AY.
AY. Okay,
so
that's why
one
it was like
samosa, multiple samosa. One pakora, multiple pakorde. One chamcha, multiple chamche.
I love learning this.
So there you go.
Okay, so now I know that when I'm at, somewhere picking up a container of these, that I have to say A at the end. Okay, samosa or pakore. Every once in a while when I'm shopping at my favorite local grocery store, which is Produce Depot, just on Carling here, they every once in a while have some fresh ones in their fridge, and it's not very often, but when I see them, I grab them, and I usually eat them in the car before I even drive away.
They're really good.
They're really, really, really good.
But once you go homemade, it's really hard to go store-bought.
I mean,
it's
like that with a lot of things too, right? Like people often ask me, where I like to eat out, and I have a really hard time eating out because I can often make it better for me myself, right?
Yeah. No, I hear
so I also wanted to feature her cookbook here. It's called The Spice Is Right, a collection of vegetarian Punjabi-inspired recipes by Jaspreet, my lovely friend Jas. Look how beautiful and colorful this cover is here. You can get that on Amazon, so you just have to search that up on Amazon, and we'll put some links online and on the show today. But also, if you want to learn how to do this yourself, and you want to join one of Jas's classes or even do yoga with her, you can find her online. Tell us a little bit about your business name and where people can find you.
So I'm at yogawithjas.com. I'm a retreat leader, so our next retreat is actually happening next November in 2026. And we'll be headed to Belize.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. But samosa workshops run typically once every couple of months, and those are the community cooking ones, and you can find them online at yogawithjas.com.
Yogawithjas.com. We'll put that up for everyone. You can click there and find your yoga schedule. I know she does online classes and in person. Yeah. And then how would you typically serve this together?
Okay, so I do things a little bit differently.
Okay, you show me. You show me.
So I'm gonna just grab a little spoon, and this is for like maximum. It might not be super aesthetic, but it's gonna be for maximum.
I see. Yeah, put it down. Put that down.
Put this down.
Yeah, love it.
So we just mash this just a wee bit
to create a little bowl for the sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. And then from here, add this right on top.
Okay.
And I actually brought some yogurt.
Oh, awesome.
Well. We're just gonna clean
I'm gonna put some of this chutney just on the side here.
Amazing. And we're just gonna add a little bit of the yogurt right on top.
Oh, that looks great.
And there you go.
I didn't realize that chutney could be raw, like a salsa. So when I was reading last night, all of the chutneys that I was reading about were cooked. But you said today that you can make it just like a salsa. So what is the difference between like a cooked chutney and a non-cooked chutney? Just that you cook it.
That's it,
And
yeah.
that like you're rendering down the flavor.
Yeah, chutney just means mix.
Oh, I love that so much. So in the summer or in the fall, when we have fresh ingredients just like this, you would make it fresh. And then here in Canada, in the winter or in the spring, when we don't have as much, we could make it with like canned diced tomatoes or canned or frozen.
Tamarind. There's a tamarind sauce as well that's usually cooked. So that one is a bit... it's a bit more savory in flavor.
Cool.
But yeah, it just really depends on the texture and the flavor that you're looking for. But most of the chutneys that we make are typically fresh.
And is your retreat in Belize full?
We still have a few spots left.
Please tell us just a real quick little tidbit about your retreat in Belize, because like who doesn't want to go to Belize with Jess? Are you going to be like... What a cool life experience.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. So it is a yoga retreat, but it's not your typical yoga retreat, as most retreats with me are not your typical yoga retreats.
Of course.
It's meant to be transformational. It's meant to actually embody what yoga is supposed to be. So yes, we will have a physical practice in the morning. Yes, there might be a physical practice in the evening, but the whole point of yoga is to connect.
Right.
So the rest of the time is actually getting into the community, connecting and being able to give back, and also sharing, right? Being able to take something away from the experience that makes us a little bit better. That's all.
Connecting with each other, connecting with yourself,
connecting to self,
connecting with food, connecting with nature, all of that stuff. And why Belize? I mean, what a cool destination.
Belize is just one of those places that really, I'm going to say, called to me in a way that it's just beautiful. Like it embodies, again, that Pura Vida way of living, for sure. And it's warm. Like straight up, it's warm.
Absolutely. And so that's next November in the cold of winter, which we are in that time right now. We're here in Ottawa. We're facing, our first snowfall, and nothing brings me back to a warm climate than some spiced food with delicious deep flavor. A nice warm yoga room. You've all heard Jess's voice. She has such a great voice. I've done a couple of her yoga classes in the past, and the meditation at the end is just next level because her voice is so calming.
Oh my gosh. You're so sweet. You're such a hype woman. Thank you.
We all have to hype each other up, and supporting local, especially women, is definitely my jam, especially other women who have passion just like you. I mean, it has been such a pleasure having you here. I hope you all learned something, as did I. You can find her online at yogawithjazz.com. You can find her book on Amazon. And as we go away, and as I say goodbye, I'm going to pick up one of these samosas and I'm going to have a really big bite. We will see you next time. Oh my goodness.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.